Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today we're going to talk about 90 Day the Other Way, Season 6, Episode 12, Little Post, Big World. Now before I begin, just with like any other video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel and joined the family, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Leave your comments so I know what you thought about this episode, and tell a friend to tell a friend that Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom does all the 90 Day franchises over here, the tell-alls, the Love in Paradise, anything they throw at you, I got it. All right, so let's get started. So up first, we're going to start with Danielle and Johan. When we see Johan, he is at the gym. Now, he is working out. He's talking to a buddy about his frustrations about what's going on with Danielle. He's talking about, he thought things would be different. Since Danielle wants to come to DR, he thought that maybe they would be buying a house, buying a car, getting their life set up. He said that right now they're still renting, and what's the point of renting long term? You want to set that up together as husband and wife. And Johan is saying he doesn't feel like Danielle is really taking things serious living in the Dominican Republic. Johan's friend suggested he go back and talk to Danielle, let her know about the frustrations, what's going on, and see where they can go moving forward. Now, I'm not sure if the friend knows it already, but if you watched this 90 Day before, it's been an ongoing thing with Johan and Danielle going back and forth about money, finances, where we're living, and all that comes with that. So later on in the episode, Danielle and Johan actually go out to a car dealership. Well, it turns out that the car that they've been driving around, that's also been rented. Danielle said it costs $30 a day to rent, which I was surprised that they were renting the car, because I thought on previous seasons of 90 Day that the car that Johan had, I thought they had it together, but maybe not. So as they're looking around the car lot, the car salesman is showing them different cars, and one is like a Honda Santa Fe, and I forgot what the other model was. But between the two cars, one was $30,000 and one was $27,000 for a 2019. And Danielle said, "What, for this?" She said, "I paid $30,000 for my BMW." And then Johan looked at her, it's like, "Yeah, in America you did, but in the Dominican, this is what happens here." So when the salesman goes to start the car to show under the hood and everything about how nice the car runs, the car battery, assuming it's the battery, is dead and the car won't start. So then Danielle is like, see, but they want $30,000 for this. And Johan's like, calm down. It's just probably the battery. And what's wrong with looking at different cars? Because clearly we need one. Then Danielle was polite to the car salesman. She was like, "Thank you for showing us the cars. We'll take time to talk about it amongst ourselves, and then we'll let you know." You know good and well Danielle is not buying no car, and definitely not a 2019 car that's less than a BMW or Mercedes for $30,000 anywhere. All right, so later in the episode, Danielle and Johan also go to an immigration lawyer because Johan wants to see what the status is for getting a K1 to come to America. Now, Danielle has been dragging her feet for a very long time. Okay, she just does not want to give up her piece of paradise. So as they're saying with the immigration lawyer, the lawyers talk about different K1 visas will be the visa through marriage or visa through tourists or different things like that. And Danielle said, I don't see him getting a K1 visa through marriage. She goes, "I don't think we're there yet." She goes, "The only thing that I would consider is a K1 tourist visa." And the look on Johan's face was like, "What? The K1 tourist visa?" Like, I know you didn't just say that. But Danielle is very adamant. Now, you can cut the tension with a knife in that room, because Johan's frustration on his face and Danielle doing the, you can only do things the way I say so. But what Danielle did say to Johan and the immigration lawyer is that if Johan thinks that he has an American wife who will completely enable him to support him, then he's picked the wrong American. I'm not interested in having a kept man. So, Danielle has actually said that before, but for some reason, I think that Johan feels like maybe one day Danielle will change her mind and bring him back over to America, but right now it's not looking good. So moving to TJ and Kimberly. Now last week we saw Kimberly call TJ after Kimberly got a text saying that basically, I broke up, this is it, I don't want anything to deal with you, too much stress. So they're still on the phone. Now with TJ holding his ground, Kimberly to me is actually coming across like she's begging. She's like, oh, please, TJ, this is not what I want. I promise I can work on it. I never in a million years thought that you would break up with me. It's coming across like a spoiled brat or entitlement when it comes to his culture, like the things that you want to do, the things, even as far as like cooking certain items in the kitchen, you're like, well, if I want to do cook onions and garlic and make a special meal, I'm going to. When he said this is not what is done in India, and you know, to respect the culture, but this whole entire time until TJ put his foot down, she was like, I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want to do it. So now she's on the phone like, oh, please, TJ, please, you know, I can work on it. I know we can fight for this. I know I did you wrong. I promise it'll be better in the future. But TJ is saying, you know, when I met your parents, they had a smile on their face and that made me feel good. But not 5 minutes later, we were having conversations where I felt disrespected. He said, I don't know if I can make you happy in the future. There's so much between us that's going wrong, and I just don't think that this is it for us. He said, I will always love you, but I just don't know. And to be honest, I think Kim is really trying to save face. How she was begging TJ and saying how she just never thought this would happen and she just never could believe, and I just want you, and doesn't matter what's happened before, and we can do this. You know what? To me, it came across as a pep talk. It was like, you know, trying to get him to see her side, and I didn't just feel it as any type of being genuine at all. Now, as far as TJ is concerned, I felt he was being genuine because, listen, he's had to deal with his brother back and forth. He had to deal with his family. He's had to deal with Kim and not wanting that apartment and all the things going back and forth with them. So, yeah, TJ's frustrated, and he just like, you know what? I can't deal with this, and I can't see me dealing with this for a lifetime. Yes, I love you, but I don't know. At the end, TJ said, you know what? We can let all this go to the side. There will be a future. Kim's like, a future? Really? He's like, yes, we're gonna go ahead and get married in 2 days. She's like, oh, thank you. I just didn't get the emotions from Kim. I didn't see it. All right, moving to Kenny and Armando. So Kenny and Armando are headed back home from their trip to Mexico City. Armando decided that Mexico City would be the best place for him, Kenny, and Hannah to come and live. There's more opportunities. As far as work, there's more opportunities for Hannah and her school. And Armando made it clear that they would move after Hannah finished her school year at her current school, so she didn't have to go back and forth. So on the way home, the conversation came up with surrogacy. Armando wanted to know, just let me know, Kenny, what it is, so I don't have to keep asking, and we can move past bringing a possible new baby into our relationship. And you know, Kenny was kind of standoffish with that because he's 60s or a little over 60. He has grown kids. He's a grandfather, and he feels that bringing a baby into the family would be a disservice because he wouldn't necessarily be around to see the baby grow up just based off age, because there's like a 30-year age difference between Armando and Kenny. But what Kenny did say is he had an epiphany, and that epiphany was that he decided that he wasn't going to let anything stop him. He wasn't going to let anything stop the happiness and the progression of the relationship with him and Armando. And he decided that regardless of age and everything else, he was willing to accept bringing into a new family member, and he wanted to go forward with the surrogacy. That made Armando so happy. Kenny and Armando too, but especially Kenny, I think, would do anything for Armando. Armando said it was awesome news. He couldn't wait to have a child together with Kenny. He said even though there's going to be a lot of unknowns, he said he's nervous, but he knows that they will have the cutest family. All right, so moving to Shekinah and Sarper. I mean, honestly, where do you begin? They have truly become the second half couple of this season to watch, with just the impending drama unfolding, and then all of Sarper's liaisons that have come to the surface. So it's the next morning of Shekinah arriving in Turkey, and Shekinah did not sleep on the bed where Sarper had admittedly had a lot of ladies entertained there, and so they ended up sleeping on the sofa. Now in confessional, Sarper and Shekinah said that they received a knock at the door from security complaining that the TV was up too loud, but they said it wasn't the TV. It was because they had a time last night, and so maybe they was being a little bit too loud. I mean, they thought that was cute. They was like, okay, baby. So, okay, with your time, but next time, keep it down because the neighbors don't want to know your name. As they get ready for the day's activities, Shekinah has brought out some outfits that she wants to wear, and she's getting her approval from Sarper to see if it's okay to wear, because Sarper tells her what to wear because he has a certain way he likes her to look and different things like that. So as they're picking out the outfit, the topic of weight comes up. Sarper is also a personal trainer, and he said in confessional that he likes his women to look a certain way, and that Shekinah should be at 128 pounds because that would look good on her. Not too much muscle because he don't like that, but 128 is the goal he put. And he said he could put a goal on somebody because he's a personal trainer, and he could put those target goals for them to achieve. So when he brings out the scale, because he did ask, so do you want me to weigh you? And Shekinah's like, oh no, that's not necessary. I weighed myself before I came here. I'm 128 pounds. Sarper brought out the scale anyways. Shekinah stepped on it. She was 132. He looked at her and was like, you're 4 pounds off. She goes, it can't be. The scale must be wrong. Sarper says, no, the scale's not on. She's like, well, I don't know what happened. I weighed myself before. And here's the thing that Sarper's not realizing. Women do go through a time, depends on what's going on, where you can put on weight. You might be bloated for whatever reason. So maybe that was the case for Shekinah. But in my opinion, Shekinah needs to keep an eye on that, because is he going to weigh her every day? Now later, as Shekinah and Sarper move to their activity, Shekinah ends up taking out her phone. I do believe she asked for permission first to take a picture. So Sarper at first was like, why do you want to take a picture? I told you how I feel about social media. And Shekinah says, well, why do you want to censor me about social media? You know, you don't want no one to see that you're with me? Or you trying to, not get any pushback from any women that you may possibly still be getting with? So Sarper denied that, but that's the case, because in confessional before she even came over, he was talking about those women and the things he did not post on social media. And why isn't that? Because a woman might see him. Maybe I'm starting to think that Sarper has told other women that they're in a relationship too. And if he posts something with another woman, they're like, who is that? Well, Shekinah did end up getting a picture with Sarper, but not before Shekinah was saying that she didn't accept his reasoning about why he didn't want her to post on her social media their picture. So, I mean, honestly, who would be following Shekinah on her social media? The odds of someone seeing them together is slim. It would be different if Sarper posted on his social media, where clearly he has lots of followers. Shekinah is starting to see that Sarper is being on the controlling side. But I'm like, where are you starting to see this now? Even before you came over, the things that your friends were telling you, that you told them about Sarper, about being a certain way, you got to look a certain way, you have to do things by his rules, that's already controlling. The difference is you're just seeing it now face to face. Also later in the episode, when Sarper and Shekinah are out on a boat ride, conversation come up again. Shekinah says she's seen a lot of red flags. She goes, look at him with the red blanket around him, just looking like a big old red flag. There's just a lot of back and forth as to why the social media thing cannot continue. But Sarper is holding his ground, telling Shekinah that, listen, do you know what I've done for you? You should be more appreciative. You should be more like a thank you, like what you're doing for me, or I love what you're doing for me. But Shekinah said, listen, I didn't come all the way around the world for you just to be treated like this. And Sarper said, oh, so, you're free to go back to your country. So to me, when he said that, it was almost as if he was saying, if you don't like it, you can leave. But I do believe that's what he was saying. But I think that Shekinah wants to continue on with this relationship, even though there's red flags with the women that she knows about. With the restrictions you put on her dieting, with the restrictions you put on her looks, that she doesn't want her family and friends who've already told her that this guy is controlling and he's not for you. She wants to prove them wrong. Now, I don't know if she's going to be able to, but hey, this is her relationship. We'll have to see how it works out. So, all right, so that was the end of the episode. Now, coming up on 90 Day Fiancé, still to come in other episodes, we're going to have TJ and Kim finally have their wedding day. We have Sarper and Shekinah still dating, still look like they're on the same page intimately. We have Holly and Wayne. They also get married. And Brandon's mom comes to the Philippines to meet Mary. So that's going to be very interesting, especially when she learns that Mary is pregnant. So, all right, everyone. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. Until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.